Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Absolutely Podcast, the podcast specifically designed to help women defeat diet culture and live their dream healthy lifestyle. Today's episode, I'm going to be talking a little bit about me and what my current fitness routine is for maintaining a lean and toned physique. I think it can be easy to get excited about, oh, what does my cut phase look like? Or what does a building phase look like? But a lot of people skip what does a maintenance phase look like? And that is where the majority of your life should be spent, is just maintaining, living life, but also living a healthy lifestyle that you love your physique, no matter if you are in a dieting phase or not. And this is something that if you can master, it really gives you so much peace. And I will just say, I feel like I have pretty much mastered this at this point, being able to live the best of both worlds and enjoy meals out and food that is quote unquote unhealthy, have drinks, but also really crush the healthy lifestyle part of things and have that balance. And I will say I am a living testimony that you can do both and it is possible. So I'm going to be talking about the exact things that I do literally micro on a day-to-day basis to get that lean and toned physique and maintain that lean and toned physique as well. Before I do that, I wanted to quickly mention that my Black Friday pre-sale is still on my website. So I'm going to put that link down below in the description. And basically, I only have 4 spots left for my biggest sale of the year. This is going to be 20% off my signature metabolic makeover program. So if you are wanting to become the fittest, hottest, most healthy version of yourself in 2025, this is the perfect time to do it because you can save up to $1,000, which is actually crazy. Like, I probably shouldn't be doing this big of a sale, but you know what? Here I am. I want to help as many women as possible and help them save some money while they're at it. So I put the link down below, but if you want that curated program that is designed for your metabolism, hormones, schedule, preferences that you don't feel miserable doing, and you want to learn how to go out to eat and do all these things that I'm going to talk about in today's episode and still get to your goals specifically, definitely apply for that. And by applying for it, you're not signing up for it. You're basically just showing me that you're interested in it. And then I'm going to reach out to you, see if it's 100% a good fit. I am only taking clients that I want to 100% help and that I know I can 100% help. So that's kind of the next step. And then we will go from there. But anyways, that is my only announcement for today. Other than I want to make sure you all are liking this podcast, subscribing, commenting, whatever platform you are on. I want to get the most exposure out of this podcast as possible and help as many women as possible. And in order to do that, I need you to follow, like, download, subscribe, all of the things. So that is all of the admin I have for today. Let's jump into my current fitness routine / health routine for maintaining a lean and toned physique, which is also my healthiest and happiest physique, especially when I'm in a maintenance period. So let's start out first by talking about my workouts. So I'm going to give a day-to-day weekly explanation on what I am doing, and I'm going to get super micro with this. So if you're like, Abbie, you're getting a little bit too much in the details, you know what? I don't care. I think everyone needs to know exactly what I'm doing, and I am here to share my entire life with you. So right now, I am strength training. I am hitting a step goal, and I am actually doing a 5K running plan just because I can. And I have always said I'm not a runner, and I decided I'm going to change that narrative for myself, and I'm going to just complete a 5K running plan. And if I hate it by the end, I'm never going to run again. But currently, that's what I'm doing. That is a more recent thing. That is something that has not influenced or changed my physique at all. It's just something that I'm doing for some added cardio. But I am doing cardio no matter if I'm doing a 5K plan or if I'm doing like an incline walk, which I'll talk about that here in a second. But workouts wise, Monday, I am doing a leg day. I am currently following an app. I don't like doing my own programming because I do it for a bunch of other ladies that I am helping in my program. So the last thing I want to do is do it for myself. So I follow a different coach's program, which I am really liking currently. But I do a leg day. So that is a strength focused leg day, and it's around 45 minutes. After that, I am doing my just steps. I am not doing any sort of running on my leg day. I honestly don't encourage necessarily doing a bunch of cardio on your leg day because you should be gassed after a leg day, especially an upper body day. I can squeeze in a little bit of cardio after, but a leg day, like I'm down bad. So I do not do any cardio after my leg day. I just do a 30-minute, like 3.0 slow walk, look at my phone, catch up on any sort of work I missed during my workout, and just use that as time to get extra steps in. But I am going really hard, especially on my Monday leg day, because we are starting out the week with a bang, and that means getting a solid leg day in. So this is focusing on compound movements at first, like hip thrusts, RDLs, deadlifts, squats, and lunges. So that's kind of what my programming is mostly focused on for the first movements. And then moving into more accessory movements like leg extensions, hamstring curls, those things that are a little bit more accessory and kind of those smaller muscle groups. But I am doing currently 2 leg days a week. I'll talk about that here in a second. But on Tuesday, I am doing a upper body day. So I go into the gym, I do an upper body day, which again is comprised of, first off, compound movements, and then I move into accessory movements. This is the exact same thing I program for my clients as well. When you are doing a balance of the compound movements at first, you are exerting the most energy with those compound movements, and you are recruiting multiple muscle groups. So those movements are going to be super important for building your physique. Where I find a lot of women go wrong is they go into the gym and they'll just do some accessory movements like doing some bicep curls and a couple of like lateral raises and then thinking that's it, when in reality, like, you should be doing some bench presses, you should be doing some overhead presses, a lot of things that are going to recruit multiple muscle groups, rows, those kind of muscle groups you want to recruit. You want to make sure you're doing compound movements first and foremost and really exerting your body with those compound movements. So that is what I do on Tuesday. I do an upper body day that is mostly focused on pull. Yeah, I'm like, I just had a brain fart. I'm mostly focused on like back and biceps and doing like a pull day. Is that kind of what it's called? Because you're doing pulling movements, recruiting your back muscles and bicep muscles. So that's what I'm doing on Tuesday. And then I follow that with one of my harder runs. So on the running plan I'm using the app called Runna, and I honestly have really loved it. It has been a great progression. And you know what? The reason I'm running a 5K, it might sound really stupid, like, Abbie, you can't even run a 5K. No, I can run a 5K, but the times that I have just like jumped off the couch and proved myself that I can run a 5K, my body hurts so bad just because my body is not used to it. And just like with weight training, running is the same thing. You have to work your muscles, you have to work your joints, so it does become used to it. So that's what I'm focusing on. But the runs that Runna programs, I really have been loving because they're always different. They focus on sometimes speed, sometimes distance, sometimes time. So I really love it for that aspect because I am doing a bunch of different things and just kind of keeps me on my toes, and it gets me just like, it's kind of a fun thing. But usually Tuesdays are my harder, longer run days. So like, for instance, on Tuesday this week, I did my upper body day, and then afterwards I had like almost like 3-mile run that was split up by a little bit of walking, but not too much. So that is kind of the example of what I would do. But basically, I am just doing that for my form of cardio. Before doing the 5K plan, I was doing 30 minutes of cardio 3 times a week. So I pretty much just like replaced that with my 5K. I don't like do it extra on top of it. I don't need to be doing that much cardio, but I do like doing a little bit of cardio in order to get my heart healthy. And I just like to be in good cardiovascular shape as well. So I have been doing the running plan. I don't know if I'm going to continue to run after this. I still have not been sold. So if you're a runner and you want to sell me on it, please DM me. But I am just trying to like work up to it so that way I can run like a solid 5K and say I did it. And my body will be used to running. So maybe I'll just like sprinkle it in from time to time now that my joints, my body is used to it and I'm not hurting from it. If I jump off the couch and run a 5K and I'm like, why did I do that? Like, I can do it cardiovascularly, just like joint wise, not so much. Anyways, so that's Tuesday. Wednesday, I take a full rest day. I do not work out. I do not go to the gym. I will, however, though, do something active like going on a long walk. What I have been loving doing is going on like a really long 3-mile walk or 4-mile walk around a park and just like using it as time to catch up on podcasts and like really using it as a self-care day. If you're not taking rest days, you need to be taking rest days. They are so important. They are almost more important than your workout days. I will say that we have to have rest days in order to build muscle. We have to have rest days in order to lose body fat. We have to have rest days in order to maintain a physique and not burn out. Okay. So Wednesdays, I do a long walk. Sometimes I will also go like hit some golf balls or do something that is like an active rest activity like that. So that is what I do on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, I do another upper body day. So I do upper body, and this is more of like a push focused day. So shoulders, chest, and triceps. So I do that, and that usually lasts around 45 minutes. And then after that, I will do my run, which is around 30 minutes typically. And this is more of like an easy run. Like today, I have some like sprints programmed in, but it's not as long. I kind of enjoy when it's like a little bit faster and get it over with faster. But that is what I'm doing today. Again, like that 30 minutes of cardio. And then on Friday, this is where I do my last lift of the week, and it is typically a leg day. So I go and do a really hard leg day, and then I follow my leg day with 30 minutes of just flat walking. So that is like my workouts for the week. I do not lift on the weekends unless I have a day where I need to like push out my workouts to the weekend or something. But I really, really try not to do that and reserve my weekend for more social things. Let's say I want to like go out and have some cocktails on Friday. Like I don't necessarily want to get to the gym on Saturday morning. So I try to protect those days for myself just so that way I know that I am going to get my workouts in on the weekdays, and then I don't need to worry about them on the weekends. Where I find a lot of women go wrong is that they think like, oh yeah, it's a good idea to plan my workouts on the weekends, and then they end up like never getting to them and missing their workouts. So if you know you're a person like that, like just get them done during the week, hammer it out. I know it might be hard. Wake up early before work, go after work. Maybe it'll suck a little bit, but it's so nice getting to the weekend and being like, okay, I don't need to worry about getting to the gym. And if I have a last minute plan or something I want to go do, it's not going to stress me out like, oh, I also need to do my workout on top of it. Now, on Saturday or Sunday, one of the days, I will do my last run, my last cardio session for the week. But usually that's pretty easy because it's only like 30 minutes of my day. And most of the time I will do it Sunday morning before I go to church. But sometimes I'll do it Saturday if I know that maybe Sunday I want to have some extra time or whatever. But that will be my last 30-minute cardio session of the week, one of the days of the weekends. And then I will usually play golf one time during the weekend as well and do like a full round, which I tend to get a lot of steps in. I know it's not like crazy activity or anything, but I do think that it is a good form of movement, especially like for an active rest day. So one thing I didn't mention is that every day I am also hitting 10,000 steps, 10 to 12,000 steps. Sometimes I'm hitting more, honestly, with this running plan. I'm kind of like going a little bit overboard with the steps some days, like unintentionally. But I really try to get the 10K steps in every single day. And how I do this is I usually go on a like around 20-minute morning walk before I start work. And this gets me around like 3,000 steps. And then just like walking around, making breakfast, getting ready for work, getting dressed, those things get me a little bit of extra steps as well. So I will do that. And then I will get the 30-ish minutes of steps at the gym. And then typically I'm like already at 10K by those two things. So it's really not that crazy for me to hit my steps. Like it's something that is pretty simple, especially because during the day I try to also like get up and move around and not just like be seated at my desk all day. And I know for the ladies at our desk job, it's like, oh, I can't get my steps in because I'm working a desk job. I have also worked a desk job for years before I started my business, like 2 years. And it was a little bit more difficult, but I would just plan to like get up and like go to the bathroom, fill up my water bottle, do those things, and those steps add up a ton throughout the day. Because even though I am a fitness coach for a living, I still sit at a desk all day, and I just need to make it a priority to get that morning walk in. I would do an evening walk when I worked corporate, and then try to get some steps in at the gym as well and do it at like a quicker pace. That way I can get them in a little bit faster. But yeah, I'm hitting the 10 to 12,000 steps per day. I think that's all of my exercise that I do. And I know like when I'm talking about this, it sounds like a lot, but for real, I work out 4 times per week, strength training, 45 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. And then I do those 3 cardio sessions. So like spreading that out through the week, like that's not that much. Okay. And the rest of it, we really don't think about it as exercise. I think about it as like a mental health activity to get outside and to get some fresh air like a human being should. And if you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to get my steps in, like you're probably just lazy. I will call you out on that. And you should be getting outside. You should be getting steps in. Like your body needs it. Your health needs it in order to function. So anyways, that is all the workouts I do. And then calories, nutrition wise, right now I am tracking macros. I have gone through seasons where I'm not tracking. I have gone through seasons where I am tracking, and potentially I'll move into more of like an intuitive phase later on. But I'm honestly like really enjoying tracking macros right now. I did take a lot of time off of it, and then I got back into it and I realized like, wow, I feel freaking fantastic when I track my macros and I'm being intentional with my nutrition. I also too just like love how it feels with my workouts. I find that I perform a lot better when I'm at the gym, when I'm tracking my macros. Not that I can't mindfully eat, I definitely can, but I don't know. I'm just in a phase of loving tracking my macros. So I have been. But I'm tracking at maintenance. I'm not tracking anything crazy. And the great thing about tracking at maintenance is that some weeks I maybe am a little bit above, some weeks I'm a little bit below, and I'm not being psycho about like I need to hit my numbers every single day. Like for instance, tonight I'm going out to dinner. I'm probably going to have a martini and a steak and some like extra food. And you know what? If I go over, I'm not stressing about it because I'm in a maintenance season and it's going to be fine. Now, if I was in a deficit season, I probably would be a little bit more strategic and make sure that I was hitting my numbers pretty much every single day. But being in maintenance is kind of nice to like track, but also not be like too strict about it. Like it's nice if I can hit my numbers, great, but I'm not like forcing myself to hit my numbers every single day. So I'm eating around like 200 calories a day on a weekly average. I do have a little bit of flexibility. I have one meal during the week that I know I'm probably eating a little bit above. So I kind of like allocate that to the rest of my week. But around 2,200 calories I am eating currently, with 150 grams of protein. I try to eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. It's a little bit higher than what I weigh right now. But I like the 150 grams. I feel like that's just like a good amount for my body and I feel the best doing that. And then the rest are from carbs and fats. So that is how much I am eating. And then what I am eating, I am really trying to focus on whole foods currently. So I'll just kind of give high level day to day, like what I am eating right now. So for breakfast, I have the same breakfast every single day. And I swear having a solid staple breakfast helps me so much. And if that's something you're not already doing, I would totally recommend. But for breakfast, I will have 2 eggs with about a half a cup of egg whites. And I will have 1 piece of my homemade sourdough slay with a little Laughing Cow cheese on top that kind of tastes like cream cheese. And then I will have some raspberries for fiber. And this meal alone gets me around 30 to 40 grams of protein. So that right off the bat, I recommend making sure you're getting around 40 grams of protein at breakfast every single day. Note, I am not fasting. I'm eating pretty much 30 minutes after I'm waking up every single day. I normally eat at around like 8:30 before starting work, making sure I am starting work with a full belly and making sure that I am fueling myself. I find a lot of women, they push off their meals, they start working, they're stressed, they have coffee on an empty stomach. Those things are not good. We want to make sure, especially as women, that we are managing our cortisol. And a great way to do that is by having scheduled breakfast every single day. I am such a big proponent for breakfast. Please eat breakfast. So I'm mostly though focusing on whole foods again. That's pretty a whole food breakfast other than the Laughing Cow cheese. Everything else is pretty whole foods. I consider my sourdough a whole food because I literally make it from scratch. Okay. Lunch wise, this is kind of where it switches up a little bit. Lately, what I've been doing is having like 2 to 3 rice cakes. Okay, hear me out. Rice cakes, I sound like a diet food over here, but I promise you this meal is really good. So I'll have 2 to 3 rice cakes with avocado on top, and then I'll also put deli turkey or deli ham on top. So good. And then will have a side of kettle chips. So good for the balance. The siete ones specifically because they are fried in avocado oil, so they're a little bit better for you. So I'll have that for like my crunch and a little bit of balance there. And then I'll usually have some sort of like fruit or veggie on the side too, so that way I am getting my fiber in. So that's been my lunch lately. And then that's around like noon. I'll have lunch. If you notice, I'm having like my meals at pretty scheduled times here. And then for snack, I will usually have cottage cheese and some sort of cracker. And then for dinner, I have been having some sort of like meat, potato, and veggie for a long time now. I just find that eating whole foods really helps with my digestion. It makes me fuller for longer, and I love it. So like this week, I literally bought a whole rotisserie chicken from Costco, and I'm like, why don't I do this more often? First of all, I didn't realize rotisserie chickens from Costco are like the cheapest thing at the store. But also I don't have to cook anything and I love it. So I've been having that with some air fried butternut squash and potatoes, and it's such a good, just like yummy meal. I'm actually having that for lunch today because I'm going to be eating out dinner tonight and I want to have a healthy meal for lunch, but it's so good. So I've been loving that. I've also been loving doing spaghetti squash with steak on top of it. That's been really good. I just really love like a whole foods dinner, honestly. It just really hits. And protein, carb, and fat is what I focus on. I've been eating a lot of steak, a lot of red meat lately, and I just find that it helps fuel my body. It makes me feel good. So I love that. And then don't you believe I am having dinner, or I'm having dessert after dinner, and I love dessert. If I'm home, I'm having a dessert, okay? And I will usually have a Greek yogurt, and what I've been doing lately is having Greek yogurt with a little drizzle of honey on the top, and then I will put grape nut cereal. Sounds weird, but I promise you it's amazing. I do that with chocolate chips, and then I will do a scoop of pumpkin seed butter on top because I have a nut allergy, so I can't have nut butter, but that's what you could do if you don't have a nut allergy. And it's such like a good snack, and that gets me to hit my protein goal, gives me a little bit of extra fiber with the grape nuts, and it's just like really hits the spot. So that is what I have for dessert. But I am having chocolate pretty much every single day. I'm having dessert every single day. And it just makes me happy. Okay. And I'm also right now dining out like 2-ish times per week, depending. I will try to loosely track this meal just to make sure I'm getting enough nutrients, protein, and that stuff. And I'm also in an era where I'm just focusing on getting out more, socializing a little bit. So I am drinking a little bit more than I would like to be right now, to be honest. But I am also trying to focus on getting out there, and it kind of comes with the territory of having a drink or two. So if I am going out, I will try to keep it to like 1 or 2 drinks. That way I'm not like drinking 3 times a week and having 4 drinks at every meal. Like that's going to be a little bit crazy. So I try to have like 1 to 2 drinks, kind of keep myself to that. Unless I'm like going to like a concert or something that I know I'm going to be maybe having a little bit more alcohol or whatever, but try to kind of keep myself at like 1 to 3 times per week, and like 1 to 2 drinks per. So nothing too crazy, a lot better than I was in the past, but with different areas of life come different priorities. And that's what I'm trying to focus on, is like being like graceful with myself and allowing myself to have those times too. And the great thing about tracking is that you track a couple drinks in, you're still in your calorie goal, you're still hit your goals, hit your protein, you're going to be fine. And a lot of times people think like that's like the main reason they're not making progress, and it's not. So good reminder there. That's what I'm doing right now though. That is my nutrition. Other things I'm doing stress management wise. So I am getting lots of sleep now and I love it. I'm getting great sleep. Try to get like between 8+ hours per night, at least 7. Like 7 is my bare minimum. I try to get 7 to 9 hours per night. That was what I shoot for. And this just helps so much with recovery, just feeling better mentally, physically, everything in between. And then I also am doing just 1 coffee per day. I used to be like a 2 coffee per day kind of gal. And when I did my cortisol reset challenge a couple of months ago, I switched to the 1 coffee per day. And I swear it just like makes the biggest difference in my energy levels, my digestion, my appetite, so many different things. So I am sticking to my 1 coffee per day. Now, sometimes, you know what? Once in a blue moon, I will have 2 coffees and sue me, whatever. It's okay. You have to, again, give yourself grace and be easy on yourself. Like if I am exhausted and I got to stay up to go to dinner with friends or whatever, I will. But I will really try to only have 1 coffee and then I'll do like a decaf if I'm really craving coffee, which that's what I'm having right now. And then if I do want some extra caffeine, I will have like an iced tea or sometimes a Diet Coke. Shh, don't tell anyone, but I love a Diet Coke every once in a while. Okay. And then also focusing on stress management is something that I'm doing. I know that that's often neglected when it comes to like a lean tone physique, like fitness routine. But seriously, stress management is so important. It really does help with making sure you're not inflamed. Your body is just processing everything as it should be. So I start my morning every single day with doing my Bible, journaling, devotional, and that really helps with my stress levels. I also, again, sleep a lot at night. And then I try to just like check in with myself throughout the day. Like if I notice I'm holding a lot of tension or I'm going through some like negative thought patterns and reliving my past or whatever I'm doing, I try to check myself and really fall back honestly on God and the Lord and knowing that like he knows what is going to be best for me. And that is what helps me and my brain. Obviously if you're not religious, do what you got to do. But for me, like God has been something really helpful, especially for my stress levels, because I know at the end of the day, it's all silly and God plans everything, not you. So you can try your best, but he doesn't care and he loves you and knows the best for you. So that's what I try to remind myself when I get super stressed and I notice I'm clenching my jaw and being a psychopath. I take a deep breath and I recognize that, you know what? This is all just silly and God has it all for me. So anyways, that was my last thing. That's kind of all I do for maintaining a lean and toned physique. I know it might sound like, oh yeah, that's all I do. And it's like this long list, but to be honest, it's something that is very manageable for me. I honestly could add a ton more things and do all this stuff, but like at the end of the day, I still want to live life. I still want to be able to go to dinner and do all these things and still, look and feel good. And that's ultimately where I'm at right now in life. So anyways, that's all I have for my episode today. I hope you all enjoyed thoroughly. Again, I'm going to put that Black Friday link in the description. That way, if you want to take advantage of that, so you can be the healthiest, happiest version of yourself in 2025. I would love to see you around. But that's all I have for today. Have a good rest of your day, and I will chat with you all next week. Bye.